Hi guys, how are you? For those of you who jump on later, welcome to the replay. Hi, you missed me this morning. I never tuned in this morning. How is everyone today? For those of you who will see this later, I'm sure there'll be a few of you. I'm just trying to get started here. Hey Midge, 501, how are you? Just waiting for a few people to jump on. Hey MCF, thanks for joining. This is going to be a good scope. I didn't get a chance. Hey Rich, I did not have a chance to go on this morning, and I think you're really going to like this scope. I really do. And I have about 20 minutes, and I got to hit the gym. Have my Zumba class at 8 p.m. So I will flip this around and tell you, I want to share this. I love sharing this. Good evening. I want to share this with you guys. It's just the coolest thing that happened to me yesterday. The coolest thing. I mean, yeah, last night. It was really super cool. Let me flip it around. Hi, how are you? So I'm in my house. I don't think you've ever seen me in my house, Rich. At least not live. So how is everyone today? I am fabulous. I feel awesome. I did not go to work today, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. I did not go to work. I'm hoping everyone is having a great evening. It's Thursday night. For some of you, this is a night where you like to go out and grab a drink, right? I know Thursday nights are pretty hopping in some places. I am hitting the gym. That's my Thursday night. I get to go to Zumba, which is fun. I get to dance a little bit. So I hope everybody's well. I wanted to share something that happened to me yesterday. So before I get started, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kathy DiRanieri. I'm an executive leader with Young Living Essential Oils. I have a full-time career in Manhattan. I scope Monday through Friday, typically in the AM, 8:30 a.m., to provide you content for personal growth, business development, and wellness, and help you become the best you can be. Today would have been Travel Thursday. Had I gone to the office, we would have discussed travel today. I didn't make it to the office, and I'll tell you why. So last night, has anybody on this scope ever had Reiki done? If you've had Reiki, please share this with me. Let me know, because yesterday was my first real Reiki session. I never had one before. Last night was my first time. So I have had some Reiki done to me, nothing exciting, nothing really earth-shattering, kind of with raindrop treatment using essential oils, which I like. It's very relaxing, very soothing. It's detoxing, all that good stuff. But last night, let's fast forward. Let's go backwards in time. 2 weeks ago, there was a wellness fair where I work, and I actually set up a table, and we were talking about essential oils, and I was showcasing the essential oils. And there was another table there, and there was a young lady named Lisa, and she's a Reiki master. So it was kind of quiet at one point, so I went over and started speaking with her, and she said, sit down, I'll give you a 10-minute free session. And it felt kind of cool. I mean, I never had Reiki before, and it kind of felt soft and cloudy around my head. She used white angelic, which is a wonderful essential oil, but I never really felt anything before. And it was just kind of like, felt like little clouds. And I said to her, it feels like clouds. Anyway, I said, yeah, I'll make an appointment. She gave me some kind of good deal. So I made the appointment, which was last night, and it was uptown. So I went for the session, and it's, you keep your clothes on, and if you've never had Reiki before, you're not really touched. It's energy. They push the energy through you. And, I've been kind of a skeptic. I really didn't, I'm into essential oils and I do all that, but the whole Reiki thing was always like a little bit beyond me, right? So I went and I had it done. And I have to tell you, I have never in my life been able to meditate. I cannot meditate without getting distracted. My brain is constantly running. I'm always, there's just too much in my noodle that I cannot sit still and be quiet with nothing going on in my mind. I just can't do that. I've tried and tried. Well, so I sat down and she started doing the Reiki, and I went into this zone I've never been before in my entire life. I started having I thought they were hallucinations. At one point, I thought I was on an iceberg, and I was somewhere in Alaska or somewhere cold, and I hate the cold, so that was like really weird. And then I was having all these chills in my body, and then on my leg I had this heat going on. So it was really, really strange. I felt like my body was weightless. I've never experienced anything like this, but I was definitely in some kind of a zone. I definitely felt, hey Rich, I definitely felt very, very light, but yet I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't move my legs, and it was just the strangest feeling. I've never felt like this before, and I was going into these, like, I felt like I was going into this vortex of some sort, where I was going, I felt like I was in Alaska. I was on these ice, like, just like snow and ice and glaciers around me, and then I would feel this heat. Anyway, it was really good. Thank you for sharing that, Rich. Thanks. But it really put me in a place I've never been in my entire life. I've never been in this zone. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And I have to say, it was really interesting. And today, in retrospect, when I think about it, I kind of want to do it again. Like, I really, really liked it. Anyway, when she was done with the session, it was about an hour, she says to me, you know, Kathy, she goes, I see animals. So she said she's a shaman. I don't know much about shamans. I don't know much about any of that stuff, you know. So I took it with a grain of salt, and I said, okay. And she says, I see animals, and I saw animals when I was doing the Reiki on you. And I said, okay. So she said, I saw 2 polar bears. I was like, well, that's weird, because I felt like I was in Iceland or I was someplace cold. That's so weird that she would say polar bears. And so she said, well, let's look it up and see what that means. I was like, okay. Yeah, that is right. It's so freaky. And I was cold. Like, when she was doing it, I actually felt like chills, like shiver inside my body. You know, like when you're so cold that the inside of you is shaking? It was like that. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to read to you what it says. And it might not mean anything to you because you don't know me personally. But for anybody who's been watching me and following me on Periscope, I'm very open book about my life, about my situations in my life. So this might compute for some of you it may not. But I found it really interesting, because when she read it to me, I actually brought tears to my eyes. That's how in sync I felt with this. So it says, a polar bear has come across your path, right? Polar bear is reminding you how enormously strong and full of courage you are. He has come to help you stand up to your current challenges in life. No matter how intimidating they are, you will never be overwhelmed. Polar bear also reminds you that you can thrive in environments that may be hostile to others. And for anyone who knows me knows that I am a fighter. I'm a fighter. I never give up. I'm forever challenging myself. So I found this to be interesting. And then it said, polar bear may be here to guide you between the living world and the spiritual world and show you how easily it is to move between them. And when I was having the Reiki done, I felt like I was literally going into another dimension. It was really strange, but I wasn't fearful, which was unusual. So that was kind of cool. It says, you know how to use your power. You are fierce and strong, yet playful at the same time. You know how to pursue what you want deliberately and powerfully. You are not afraid to show aggressive behavior. However, you use it for defensive purposes only, rather than bullying your way through things. You are a good provider, and you enjoy the responsibility of providing for others. And I've always been a provider, and I've always provided for others. I mean, my husband provides too, but I've worked my whole life. I'm always working, and I work very hard. So I thought that was true, but that could be said for many people. So, you know, but it says, you know how to use, okay, then it said, when a polar bear comes into your dreams, it signifies reawakening within you. This aspect of yourself will defy adversity and reflect the fearlessness of never giving into your problems. I never give into my problems, ever. Polar bear may also reflect a person in your life that you can depend on to do the right thing. You have the ability to compromise nothing to do negatively. Polar bears in dreams are considered a good omen. So, it's a good omen, guys. I'll take it. Wouldn't you take it? I know I am. I'm definitely take it. So I found this really cool. She said more than just what I'm reading here. She touched upon some things that were really significant to me. She talked about death and rebirth. And about 10 years ago, right? Thanks, Rich. About 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, I lost my mom, then I lost my aunt, then I got divorced. I went through some really difficult times. I lived in a basement apartment and left a beautiful home because my ex wouldn't leave it. And I left my daughter living with him, and it was a really difficult time in my life, and I felt like I had died. I was living in this shanty-looking basement apartment to get away from what I needed to get away from, to rebuild myself. So going from death to rebirth for me has been a challenge in the last 10 years, and it's forever evolving and forever growing. And I'm so grateful to be where I am today. I've come such a long way, guys. You have no idea. So for me to sit here and read this, it really was, it was a moment. I had a moment yesterday, and it was kind of cool. It was really, really cool. So what is my point? I have polar bears. They're my totem, okay? I have animal totem is a polar bear. Who knew, since I hate the cold, that I would get a polar bear? Pretty ironic. Do yourself a favor, if you can, if you have the opportunity, find somebody who really does good Reiki. Don't just get anybody, because I have a couple of friends who practice Reiki, and they're decent. And, you know, if they incorporate the raindrop treatment with the essential oils, it's a very nice experience. But this took it to another level. This girl was like really, I mean, I paid for it. It wasn't cheap. But she totally made it an experience for me. And after reading about it, because it was such an experience for me, and I started reading about it, I started to realize that there is an immense world out there that we have no knowledge of that can really transform us. It can transform us in such a great way. It can heal us. It can make us feel better. And here's the kicker. This is what I said, that I didn't go to work today. I came home and I was really feeling good. As a matter of fact, so good. I got home. My husband had dinner on the table for me. Never does he cook dinner, so I don't know where that came from. But he made supper for me. We sat down, we ate. We got ready for bed, and we went to sleep. Now, my little pooch, he sleeps in bed with us. He's a little guy. He's about 14 pounds, whatever, 13 pounds. He's a little guy. And usually sleeps up at the bottom of my feet, and he's a real cuddler. And once in a while, he'll crawl his way up and sleep between me and my husband, and then he goes back down. Last night around 3 a.m., he started walking on my back and on my head. He kept walking on my, I was sleeping, and I'm like, what are you doing? I pushed him off, and he would walk back on my back and on my head. So I got up at 3 a.m. I never do this. He never has to, we always make him go to the bathroom before we go to bed, so he's good. Took him outside. He made pee just a little bit, came back in, brought him back to bed, and he started doing it again. And anyway, he kept me up for hours. So from 3 to 5, I hardly slept. I couldn't get up this morning, and I said, screw it. You know what? I have time, do me, so I'm just going to take the day off. And I did. But the Reiki girl, Lisa, she texted me about something because she wants to go on Periscope. She wants to start doing scopes. And she asked me a question, and I asked her if dogs or pets can sense this, and she said yes, they can. So I don't know if he sensed something within me, some energy that was within me last night, and he wanted to be on top of me. Or maybe he felt the polar bears. I don't know. Maybe he felt the polar bears. But at any rate, it was interesting. It was good. Find a good Reiki person. Do some searching if you can, and see if you can find one that is really a master. Because if you find a good one, you're guaranteed to have an experience, especially if you never do anything like that. Yeah, it was awesome. So I didn't think I would. Rich, I honestly didn't think I would experience anything. I thought this was going to be a waste of my money, but I kind of wanted to connect with her, and she does use Young Living, and I wanted to maybe build some kind of relationship with her, and I thought this was great for me to get involved with the Reiki and understand it, and I think she's fabulous, and we hit it off as friends. So I'm going to show her how to do Periscope, and I'm going to introduce her to Periscope. We're going to meet in like 2 weeks, and I'm going to do a Periscope with her, so you'll get to meet her and teach her how to do it. Partnership works best. Yeah, it does. It does. And we really did connect, you know. So it was a win-win. It was totally a win-win. So if she gets on Periscope tonight, she might actually watch this scope because she was supposed to download the Periscope today. So Lisa, if you're watching this, I love you. You really rocked it out. And with that, that's my scope today. Tomorrow, for all of you who watch me now, tomorrow's going to be an awesome freaking day, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the day's off. I'm not going to work. So you're not going to get your 8:30 a.m. scope from me. Not at all. However, I'm going to try to connect with this girl, Ella, who's coming to my house tomorrow. I'm going to try to get her to come to my house early. She's been through some really serious illness that I want to interview her. Her illness was really something unusual. She ended up at Stony Brook Hospital, and she almost died. And the only way she could get better is to not take anything toxic. So I want to interview her, and she wants to learn Periscope, so I'm going to have her come over. I'm going to try to get her early. But then tomorrow night at 7 p.m., I am going to scope this. I am doing a Periscope because Jahan Thomas, who's a diamond leader with Young Living, so all my Young Living people, you might want to tune in. Jahan Thomas is coming to my house tomorrow night. But we're not going to speak oils, we're talking business. Tomorrow night is going to be a business builder meeting. I'm inviting a lot of my leaders, a lot of the people in my organization who are building their Young Living business, and I want them to listen to how Jahan speaks about the business and for them to become successful in the business, and how to get into network marketing overall. So she's going to come and talk the business talk, and I'm going to have a lot of people here. You've got to order the oil. Yeah, what are you waiting for? Hey, you know what, Rich? I'm doing something this month. Actually, Jahan gave me the okay because she's kind of my upline, so I have to go through her. Until Monday, anybody who buys the kit, I give them a $25 credit. So if you decide you want to become a member and you want to invest in the entire kit with the diffuser and everything, I know it's a lot of money, but if that's something that you're kind of playing around with, you'll get a $25 credit on your account for future purchases. It's up to you. So I suggest taking a look at that, or do the math with what you want. But get the oils and get Young Living, really. And I would say this to you even if I wasn't a distributor. I would say this to you if you knew other Young Living people. Been having the interior house painted all week. You definitely need the oils to get rid of the stinky stink. I hope you're using Benjamin Moore. I hope your house doesn't smell terrible. How's your son? How is he? How's everything? I hope everything's okay with you. I know your job is great. I'm sure your son is great. And stress and great. Yeah, okay, stress and great. I know, I hear you. I hear you, my love. I really do. I know you love your job. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy. When I first met you, you were just starting the job. You were just starting the job. Look at us. Look at us now. We're best buds. So cool, cool, cool. All right, so 2 scopes tomorrow. Ella or Elena. All right, right. We are. Elena, and then Jahan Thomas at 7 p.m. We'll be periscoping her. So if you want to jump in and hear how we do our business, be my guest. I think there's going to be a lot of Young Living people out there that are going to be jumping on tomorrow night. Anyway, I have to go to the gym. I have to leave and drive over to the gym and do Zumba. So have a great night. Kisses to everybody. And for you guys on the replay, share it out. Yeah, have fun dancing. I need to dance. I'm going to California next month. I need to lose a few pounds so I can drink wine and get fat again. All right. Have a good night.